So as we get into the meat of the events in Captain Phillips, could you give us the play-by-play of the event? What actually happened?
That depends on who you listen to. Do you want to know the Hollywood version, or do you want to know what actually happened?
What actually happened?
Yeah, so what actually happened was, and we didn't learn about this until after I got the case, and that's a whole nother story that your listeners might be interested in, that I can talk about in a little bit. But here's what happened. There had been, at the time, a lot of piracy attacks off the coast of mainly Somalia, East Africa, and it was becoming something of a problem. And, you know, one of the things that I learned during this case that a lot of people may not know is when you talk about piracy, the pirates in East Africa are fishermen, and they're teenage Somalis, and it's basically a business, and that's how they make money. So we're not talking about heavily armed pirates. We're talking about basically, by and large, kids or teenagers in these small little fishing boats that take advantage of ships that they can get to. And so there was all these warnings at the time from all these different maritime agencies: stay 200 nautical miles off the coast of Somalia. If you do that, they don't even have the capability to get out further than that. So you'd be safe.
Of that radius, basically.
Yeah, that radius was a protective radius. There was all sorts of advice. And none of these ships, by the way, have any sort of defensive weaponry. So no firearms, no knives. There was some, if you saw the movie Captain Phillips, there's these big water cannons being shot off. The vessel, by the way, was called the Maersk, Alabama. All these water cannons and stuff, they didn't have any of that. That's all made up in the movie. So they're totally unarmed, and it's an American merchant ship, which is a big, juicy target. And they decided to take a shortcut, was the bottom line. They were told not to go within 200 nautical miles, and Captain Phillips just ignored that advice, went twice as close as he was supposed to, and basically invited these pirates to attack the ship. And that's exactly what they did. I'll tell you how I ended up getting the case. So the crew of the ship was the one that fought off the pirates, basically. Captain Phillips didn't do anything. Like when you see in the movie Captain Phillips offering himself up to be taken by the pirates, that's complete nonsense. That never happened. What actually happened was the unarmed crew got spoons. Some of my clients got spoons and were using them to basically stab the pirates. Matter of fact, one of the pirates, if you saw the one surviving pirate, there were four of them. Three of them got killed by the Navy SEALs. One of them got stabbed in the eye with a spoon by my client. So when he was being perp walked, he has an eye patch on, and that's from a spoon injury. But anyway, my guys were real heroic, and they get back to the United States and they get with Captain Phillips and they say, let's tell a story about this. Like, let's write a book about our experience. And Captain Phillips said, screw you guys. I don't want to do anything with you guys. I'm going to do it myself. And so they were like, okay, well, in that case, screw you, you know? So they originally wanted to tell the story together, but Captain Phillips didn't want to do that. So I get a call from the galley hand, one of the galley hands on the vessel. And by the way, this is long before anybody knew there was going to be a movie. Hey, do you want to represent me? I was like, yeah, sure. Next thing you know, I got basically all the crew. So I was the lawyer for the crew, and the defendant in the case was the shipping company, Maersk, Alabama, and the staffing company that staffed Captain Phillips, a company called Waterman Steamship. So that's kind of how that all played out.